but
I had that devil may care attitude. No black person has ever said devil may care. Electric carts are much safer than the one that you drive around.
There is a 40% chance this thing's coming down. And we can go slower too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much slower.
Just so we don't get that
right
vibration.
Here. Yeah, right here. It
looks
to be there.
Oh, it's jiggling. I don't know if it's me or if it's jiggling.
Oh, it's jiggling.
It's for Mark Gray.
Mark Gray, this
the
is
moving
for you.
recruiter. This one's for you, bro. Floor it.
Uh-oh. Move for hunger.
Hello.
Wait, that's end hunger. Let's go
Move
around.
in, move in hungry.
Move it.
We're moving hungry right now.
We're moving hungry. I'm actually pretty
Are you hungry?
famished.
They have phenomenal iceberg lettuce at this place we're going to.
Is that a vegan joke?
It's just a funny joke.
It's not.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting concept that we had. We wanted to talk about failure, actually, and so we figured we would do something really difficult and fail at it, and do an object lesson. In the meantime,
You are now listening to The Gross
I
Up.
don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Hi, Ben.
hey, this is the Gross Up.
Gross Up.
I'm Ben.
This is Thomas Bailey.
Hey, you're hanging out with us today.
Ben is like Madonna. He only has
One name.
one name.
Today's name of the podcast is Failure.
It sounds rough. Failure sounds harsh.
Failing like a champ.
I mean, I fail like the best of them.
I'm the
I
best
fail
at
so
failing.
well, I don't even know I'm failing.
I fail so well. I don't know. Okay.
You can make a song out of
Okay,
that.
but we're not going to do that today.
All right, so,
Instead, we're going to talk a little bit about our experiences with failure.
okay.
A little bit about some of the worst situations we might have been in.
Mm-hmm.
Really bare our soul a little bit.
Okay.
And then maybe tell y'all what we did to pop out of it or what
Okay.
we've learned in the process.
Okay.
And then kind of like maybe like how we're going to go about life a little differently.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I failed to take more risks.
Okay.
I mean, I think that, especially in the
Like
beginning.
example.
Okay, so I think there was. I've been in the same with the same company for 12 years, which I'm
Total mistake.
total
I'm
mistake.
just kidding.
I
I'm totally kidding. I'm
terribly.
Tommy's crushing it. It's a great company.
I'm
I'm really,
terribly like.
I love you, Frank.
Every day, I just rue the decision to say yes to these people.
Only half true.
But so I mean, I think that I've been with the same company for 12 years, but I've obviously had opportunities to go different directions. Sitting here today, I'm extremely happy that I did, but I know for sure that there's certain situations that maybe I could have taken the opportunity.
You're Thomas Bailey.
and-
You get offers.
So I get offers, right?
Truth.
And so I could have taken those opportunities. I don't regret that I didn't take them, but I regret the reason why.
Speak on that.
So, so the reason,
Dig deep.
I mean, I feel like the reason why, for a very large chunk of my 12-year career, I guess I've only been in the relocation industry for 12 years with the same company with those 12. I feel like 9-10 years of that. I mean, I feel like I was just kind of just going through the motions and kind of got into a weird spot in my life where I was just kind of downward spiraling into some behavior, aka drinking, and I was using that to kind of just get by through situations, and I wasn't really giving myself credit for the things I was actually doing. I mean, because when you're in, I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there that are kind of in autopilot in their careers, where everything just seems like, I mean, this is what I do, and this is the only thing I can do. And you may not say that to yourself, but they're
thinking it.
You're definitely thinking
and it shows in their actions,
yeah,
right?
because and even within the same company, though, I mean, there's so many people in their company that don't need to leave and shouldn't leave because they're great at that, in that with that organization. But there's certain opportunities where you could take internally where some people just don't step up because they just feel like maybe they're not good enough for it or whatever, or they're just, like I said, going through the motions in their personal life, which kind of translates.
So are they
to,
afraid to fail?
Afraid to fail? Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a fear of failure. It's just that certain people hate the fear of that, and they go after it and say, like, you know what, I'm not going to be afraid of anything. I don't like how that makes me feel, and so I jump at it, and I try to conquer that.
So that's been my MO, though, is like I will lean in to the fear of failure.
Yeah.
And if I feel myself fearing failure, I lean into that because I realize that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the only unhealthy thing I try not to do.
Yeah.
And I lean into that. And then sometimes, because I'm super masochistic,
Yeah.
I create situations where I'm going to fail.
Right.
Just to feel that and experience that and kind of like
like slap myself in the face a little bit, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and learn from it.
And like what I think too,
Is that
just
crazy?
just
That's
being around you enough, I feel like there's also a point where, fear. I don't necessarily call it fear. I mean, but
It's like a trepidation.
to be adverse to failure, like you don't want to fail, obviously. But there is a moment where you get where there's a maybe you should stop. You know, like there is a point where like, you know what, maybe that little fear, maybe that uncertainty means that maybe this situation isn't the
like
best.
Like a healthy fear.
Like a healthy
Like a
hesitation of like, you know, like, okay, wait a minute, maybe this isn't it. And I think that there's the one side of things where people feel that across the board and then don't do anything, and then there's some people on the other side that feel that and that just means it's a fear, and I'm just like you said, you're gonna tackle that fear and you're not gonna, there's no stop.
Yeah.
I think there's a healthy middle or balance between the two of saying like, okay, maybe I need to slow down, maybe I need to redirect, maybe I need to make a change, and then also to realize when this is just flat out fear of failure and I need to get over this hump. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I don't think that there is like really a healthy fear. I mean, as long as you're not doing something criminal,
Right.
where like you get locked up and they take away your freedom and your
Yeah.
family and whatnot, like,
Yeah.
like I don't think within like a business stamp. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong, but I don't think that there is that. I think 95% of that is probably just overblown fear in our own head, and we rationalize and say, well, look at what could happen, worst case scenario. But then like you can come back from also worst case scenarios again, as long as it's not criminal or something.
Okay.
So that's where I'm thinking. I
think that there's like a moment when I can't.
Give me an example. Let's speak in real terms. Let's be real. Let's be actionable and real with the people.
Okay, so I guess where I was thinking. I mean, I think fear and the words fear and failure are pretty. Like earlier, you said you don't like that word because it kind of has a negative connotation.
Yeah,
to it.
I mean it can mean a lot of things.
You know, so I think
it's overused.
I think that if you're responding, if you're just doing things like there's a job opening, you know, within your company, right?
Okay, job
Let's
opening.
just go job opening, and it's a managerial position.
Which is a step up. You've been associate
You've been
level.
there, right? You've been there for a year, you
Uh-huh.
know. And okay, on one hand, there may be somebody that says like, "Oh, I'd like that position," but they say to themselves, "I'm not ready for that," or whatever, right?
And that's probably true, though.
And it could be taken as fear. You know, like looking up from the outside looking in.
But it's what do you do with that information? That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like,
So I
okay,
think
you're not ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do with that information?
Do you say, okay, well, I'm not ready and I never will, and then you just never apply for that again, or do you let that hold you, or do you say I'm not
gonna let that stop me,
or
I'm not gonna let not being ready stop me,
or you say, okay, well, I'm not ready, and so let me build whatever I need to build, and then get there, right?
Maybe.
I mean,
I think
there's
about
three-
this
there's
though. I
three
mean, like, are
sides
you
to
ever
it.
ready to be a parent? And then you just get pregnant, and now you're a parent, and then you're ready. When
Yeah.
you're ready, you're ready when you're ready.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that's
I get it.
trial by fire. That's kind of
I get it.
But so
I think it's a little different. I mean, because how many books you read, no one's ever ready to be a parent because though that there's no one can ever prepare you to parent that particular child, right? So
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying is like, so if you're new to a company, so if you
that's like saying every child's different, so you could never be
right,
prepared
so,
for
but
all of them.
So on the right,
like,
so
would
on
you
the-
not be prepared for a third child right now? You just did two of them.
Hell no.
Why? You just did two of them.
Bro, my biggest fear in life is to have another baby.
Hey, if you're watching out there,
Honey,
let's make him lean into his fears.
It ain't
All right,
happening.
but here's my thing. Here's the fallacy in that argument, in my opinion. Right? Is you say you're not ready for this. Well, you're presupposing that you actually understand what it's even going to require.
Yeah.
And so, I know everything about the job. I know exactly what's going to require, and I can tell you for a fact I'm not ready. Well, damn, if you know everything it's going to require, that sounds
Then
pretty
you
damn
kinda
qualified
know,
to me.
You're kind of ready.
Or actually, more likely, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So why are you even listening to yourself?
Right.
You don't
Okay,
know
well,
you don't
I
know what
can
the
admit-
job has.
yeah.
Let me tell you, this segues
You might be
perfectly
right.
into my story.
You might
Okay.
be right.
Biggest failure of my life. Here's why you should listen to me.
Biggest.
One of the biggest failures of my life. One of the biggest professional failures of my life. In fact, First and only time I ever got fired. But what happened was I went in and I took this opportunity at this company as a vice president of sales, and I was unafraid of not being qualified for the job.
Yep.
They thought I was qualified. I took the job. Whether or not it was my performance or not, I mean, I would say we increased revenue significantly, so I don't think it really was performance-based, but whatever. I got fired.
Okay.
I got fired, you know.
Yeah.
I think it taught me more about the value of getting along with people in a professional setting, and not alienating people, and not being like, well, you don't get it, forget you,
so
I'm going to do me anyway.
So, I mean, you getting fired isn't the failure. What was the failure?
I felt like a failure when I was unemployed.
But what was the failure in that?
The root cause failure was me not listening to other people, not gaining agreement with my team, not incorporating and getting their buy-in, and probably trying to move too quickly before I had those other ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So I think one of the failures of a lot of young people is that they go in and they're just Captain Tryhard, and they're like, I'm going to kick ass and take names, and I'm going to change this organization, and you know, I have all these amazing ideas.
Right.
But you can't lead if nobody doesn't want to follow you.
Yeah. I mean, you have to understand. You have to understand the culture of the company that you're in. I mean, you need to know who to talk to get things to happen, like we talked about before.
That's right. The first 6 months to a year, you really need to be focusing on just getting your tribe together.
Yeah.
Just getting those people to buy into you and be like, you know, I believe in this guy, I believe in the vision, I believe in whatever. I like this person, I trust this person, I want to follow this person.
Yeah.
You know, and establishing your own credibility in the organization. I came in like I've worked at companies that are 20 times bigger than this.
If I can do that, I can do this.
I used to manage 150 people.
Man, I would kind of like I would have hated you back then.
I was a very bad leader, very bad manager.
You sound like a straight up bad person, man.
I was, and I still am to some extent.
You're
and I deal with this on a daily basis actually, and one of the things I've come to realize about myself is like I fail every day in every facet of my life.
Yes.
I fail as a parent, not spending enough time with my kids.
Yeah.
I fail as a husband, not giving my wife the attention she needs. I fail as a professional, not making that extra phone call, or not coming in as early maybe as I could, or whatever. I fail all the time.
Right now you're strumming my pain with your fingers.
Am I?
Yep. I mean, no, but that's the truest thing. I mean, you've said a lot of things in these 4 or 5 episodes, and that might be the realest thing you ever wrote. Because all those failures that you mentioned of failing to be a good father, I mean, not a good father, but failing to be there at the right moments because we're traveling for our jobs and things like that, and then failing to get home soon enough so you can really spend time at real time. I mean, because a lot of us as salespeople or managers or whatever your position is, if you got that cell phone or
a lot
that
of
iPad,
global mobility people taking calls from Singapore,
taking calls
at 8 o'clock at night, or waking up at 3 in the morning to call Germany or whatever.
And at that moment, we're being a success, like we're not failing at being an employee, but we're failing at that balance that we need to have so much. And I think that I carried a lot of the failures I felt or resented myself for from a family aspect. I kind of carried those over and said, well, maybe I'm not good enough, like we talked about earlier. Maybe I'm not good enough to take this opportunity or to run this this association or take a chance and start a LinkedIn thing, and
that's real.
I just applied that to everything. I mean, that's dangerous. But I can, like you said earlier, though, whenever you feel fear, you push forward. And I feel like that whole thing of you're being human and failing a lot just on a day-to-day basis kind of drives you to just be not reckless, but just like devil may care. I had to say nobody. Yeah.
Nobody.
No black people say devil
black
may care.
Black people never said that.
But I think that makes you. Does that kind of propel you a little bit to say like I'm just gonna get out here. I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah. So I've always been a abundance mindset person.
Yep.
Which means basically the premise there is the world is full of opportunity. The world is full of money. The world is full of people that love me. The world is full of all the good things in the world. And there's an overabundance of those things, and it's really just out there for me to just go and get, and that's my destiny, right? I believe that. And then there's people that have scarcity mindsets, and those people tend to live more in fear, and they tend to believe that people are out to get them, and that it's a net zero-sum game, where every dollar that you make is a dollar I don't have, and every person that sneaks into this country illegally steals a job from a person that's been here already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's people like that.
There's people that think like that?
Yeah, there's people that think like that. Meanwhile, economists have shown actually the number one thing that inhibits GDP growth is a failure to grow the population. Japan's suffering from this. European countries are suffering from this. Anyway, not to get political.
Well, I just learned something.
Yeah, we're in the immigration business, and people need to start letting people immigrate here. But anyway,
come on over.
Bring your time, talent, and treasure with you. But here's where I was going with this: is I have an abundance mindset, and I walk in that, right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, I feel like I have more to gain than I have to lose.
Okay.
So generally speaking, when I'm at my best, or have been historically, I've been operating under the premise that I have more to gain than to lose.
Okay.
So coming into the moving business, for instance, right? I came in kind of like as an alternative provider. I came in, with Pods and Packrat, and we were very disliked in the industry initially, right?
Never would have thought that.
It was a big deal for a long time. In fact, we were getting sued, and there was litigation and things, right, against our companies and everything. Anyway, point being though is I operated very aggressively because I felt like I had more to gain than to lose.
Right.
And I've always tried to operate that way. And it gets harder and harder the more you have. The more mouths you have to feed, the bigger your mortgage, the bigger your title, the bigger your salary, to operate as if you're still making 30 grand a year, and you're trying to hustle and grind and whatever, living in a 1-bedroom apartment. It gets harder, and then you think about the risks, and you think about everything you can lose, and that's, I think, where faith and friendship has carried me, But going back to something you said before, I think is really important, like when you feel like not good enough and not worthy. That's where I was mentally when we were in Atlanta. Remember when we were in Atlanta and we went out to dinner? It was you, me, and Frank, and we went to Fat Matt's Rib Shack.
Oh, really?
And I was in a really bad place.
I do remember that.
I was really in my feelings, and I was really down. And I've come to learn, I think that's called imposter syndrome. When you feel like you're an imposter, and you feel like you're masquerading as this person, and you're not really that person, right? Like, oh, the world thinks you have it all together, and they think that you're this super responsible dude, and you're actually, your life's like not together.
I love that you said that, because I think that's what held me in a spot. And I'm not saying like in a position or at a company. I mean, I was just in this little spot where I couldn't. I was doing well. I was doing well for the company. I was bringing in money.
Crushing it.
I was doing
crushing it by all exterior measurements. You were crushing it.
And so like I got a bunch of job offers. People said really nice things about me. You did all this other thing, but I mean, I felt like a straight up imposter.
And you started the 40 Below group for AMSA.
40
so
Below
you're up
group.
On the dais, and you're doing the talks.
I think the name that I have now, I created when I thought I was at my lowest. I mean, I was at my lowest, inside. Everybody else thought it was this one thing, and I know for sure I was not who. Like I talked about before, personal branding. My personal brand was one thing, but who I was behind closed doors, or at least.
Was it the drinking?
The drinking was an absolute. Just be
100, man.
100%. I mean, like I was like gin and tonic in the shower in the morning, like before.
And not
work.
On a Saturday.
Like before work.
Oh wow.
Like I got to a point but towards the end though. I mean, like I got to a point when it was just like train wreck waiting to happen. But I was blessed enough to notice it, stop it, and then do a hard turn. That was the reason why. And a lot of the things that I did were because other people said you should. And I just did, and it worked out. And I think that I never gave myself credit.
So you were being successful despite yourself.
And I never gave myself credit for any of that stuff. Like I'm just.
And I would talk to you. So remember we had this conversation in my condo, like right when I moved here, probably 2.5 years ago, right? You've been sober now 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So this must have been like right prior to that.
Yeah.
And we were out. We were out on my balcony.
I remember this conversation. I was
probably
like, get me away from this.
We were probably drinking a lot, watching football or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like getting really emotional, you know. And I'm sober right now, so I'm getting emotional now too, right? So I could tell it's real feelings, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, Thomas, like, you're so amazing. Like, bro, don't sell yourself short. Like, you're so great at what you do, man. You could be, here, just keep going. And you just weren't trying to walk in that, and you weren't trying to own any of that.
No.
And you were like, no, I'm not. And I thought you were being humble.
No.
But you still were great. You still are great. You're actually the same person. You just made different decisions.
Yeah.
Do you find it easier now that you've been sober and you've reclaimed your life in a lot of ways? Do you find it easier to walk in that and own that now? Or do you still feel trepidation around that?
Knowing how far I've come since 2.5 years ago, I sit back and think, okay, yeah, maybe I can do this. Maybe I should. And I mean, these things that people say about me, I did. I was there, obviously, So I started to give myself a little bit more credit. And I think the fitness for me was huge. And not just because, I just wanted to look good or whatever. I needed something that I could physically go do and to dedicate myself to that could literally pull me out of where the mental spaces that I was in. The getting sober was great. You
needed something to fill that gap, though.
I needed
right?
something to fill the gap, but then
Time
also
gap,
I needed to do something and put in work that I could see the change, and it could pull me out and point me in a positive direction against the negativity that I had going on. And so to this day, I mean, I run and all this other crazy stuff, not because I love the fact of just being out there, being in pain, but I feel like I need to know that some things are life is painful. I mean, and I'm taking chances by doing this. I'm trying to do a marathon here. I'm putting my name out there, saying that I'm raising money for Move for Hunger. All these different things that I would not have done before. I'm not putting my name out there for anything. Like, I started the videos and doing all that. I would have never started that while I was drinking.
Really?
I mean, but I needed to.
Why? Why not?
Because, well, number one, because I probably was drinking.
That's gin and tonic time.
Yeah, like gin and tonic time after 5 o'clock. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I mean, the thing was, I knew for sure. It took me a long time to feel like, you know what, I'm just gonna put myself out there and see if this is real. Like, see if maybe I lucked up all these years, and maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I just really suck at this, and then people just like me because I'm stupid. I don't know.
Still a possibility.
But it's still a possibility. But I think I needed I needed to run. I needed to do these videos. I needed to do everything that I previously said I couldn't do.
Yeah.
And it's not just me though that do all these things in our lives, and it doesn't have to be drinking either. There's so many people that are in their job, in their positions, and have been there for a long time, and the companies have literally grown from them being a part of the association, but
Right.
they don't give themselves the credit to say, I helped this happen. So I am good enough for, maybe not to leave, but to say, I should go for this management position or this whatever.
So there's also this other thing that I've seen, right? I've observed. People talk about fear of failure all the time, but there's also this fear of success. I don't know.
Can you explain that to me? Because I feel I totally understand the fear of failure. I get it.
That's intuitive.
Right. But is that the same thing as the fear of success?
Fear of success is, let me encapsulate this in an exercise.
Put that in a capsule.
If I said to you, Thomas, I'm not going to do all the explaining. You're going to watch what you do here. If I said, Thomas, what would you do if I told you you would be successful no matter what?
Are you supposed to answer?
Yeah, answer.
What do you mean?
What would you do? Like, what would you do in life? What would be your vocation? What would you do?
What would I do?
What would be your vocation? What would you do for a job if I told you no matter what you'd be successful?
No, I'm not going to like this. I don't like it.
See? Vulnerable.
I don't like it.
What would you do, Tommy?
I would work for Relotrans, and so...
You already failed. You just failed. Failure.
So, I would probably be something revolving fitness and helping people out of what I was in.
Like, be more specific.
I would be a fitness, sobriety, mixed type of lifestyle coach.
Speaker. Brand.
Speaker, maybe.
Like the Billy Blanks and Tony Robbins put together.
Wait, Billy Blanks is because he's
the
black.
Tybo, yeah, black. He's black and Tybo.
And fitness though.
And fitness.
So we didn't have to do race cards. Sorry.
Oh yeah, why'd you go there?
Fitness, yeah, sorry.
Because Tony Robbins isn't black.
But then I thought you meant black.
You'd be a black Tony Robbins.
Yes.
With Tybo. So anyway, point being is, so now here you are, Tony Blanks, okay?
Right.
And Thomas Bailey, Tony Blanks. Okay,
like
watch
this.
out.
Keep
Okay.
going.
So here you are, knowing that you can't fail. Like I'm the big genie in Aladdin, and I'm like, grant your wish. Now
Yeah.
you're Tony Blanks, fitness enthusiast to the stars.
Yeah.
What's stopping you from doing that right now?
Well, hey, okay.
You're afraid to be your best self. That's
Or-
the answer. It's
no,
a fear of
it's
success.
it's the
yes,
same
it is.
thing. A
Yes,
fear
it
of
is.
failure.
I already took failure off the table. You can't fail.
Oh, wait, no, but that's impossible.
You can't fail.
That's impossible.
No, it's not impossible. You could do
I
that.
forgot that
Straight
already.
up.
I
As
forgot
a-
that I couldn't
As
fail
an
already.
exterior person in this conversation, as like not you, I'm just an outsider here. You could do that today. Literally, Thomas Bailey could be Tony Blanks, fitness enthusiast to the stars, today with the personal branding you're doing,
Okay, I
with
get it.
the
I get
shut up, I'm talking. The personal branding you're doing, the exercising, the sobriety, the speaking. You've already been speaking on the stages. With a little bit of coaching, a little bit more effort here, you could literally be this person in 5 years. That scares the shit out of you right now, doesn't it?
I mean, it doesn't. I
It
just
scares
don't
the
wanna,
shit out of you.
I just don't want
Yes, it
to air the
does.
episode.
I smell the poop. It scares the shit out of you right now. It does not.
I did just poop. Okay.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of you because people have a fear of success. Understanding that you could quite literally be just about anything you want to be in this world, short of maybe a world-class athlete,
Mm-hmm.
you can literally do anything else. I mean, look at that guy that now is the front man for Journey, the Filipino dude who got discovered at a karaoke bar, and now he's the front man for Journey.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally do anything you want to do.
Yeah, I get it.
But people are afraid to be their best self.
Yeah.
People live their best life in little selfies and hashtags, but they're people that like could act like you're close. You're like taking off and you're ascending right now in a way with the way you're changing yourself from your fitness, from your nutrition, from your branding standpoint, and like surrounding yourself by people that are successful and focusing on the right things in life. Like you're ascending in a way that if you don't stop, you might mess around and find yourself in that position you just described in 10 years.
All right, well, I'll just keep ascending. And
If you don't freak out and jump out
No, I mean,
jump
I'm
out
not
the
going to
plane.
freak out. Now that we're having this conversation, I realize the error of my ways.
I mean, it's just, it's not error. It's just like, do you want to be
I failed.
the best person you
Yeah.
can be?
I mean,
Or
yeah.
nah?
But so how do we? So okay. So let's bring that back to like I want you to do that same thing again, but for the people in our industry that love the relocation industry, period. And whether it's a coordinator to whatever other position you got, right? What is how do you apply that to
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you ask that question of
I mean, everybody.
100
no
people,
one's gonna say.
80 to 90 would probably describe a job very unlike the one they currently have.
So how do you use that? I mean, that information, or
and can everybody be a motivational Tybo speaker? Probably not.
Probably not.
But their dreams might be different, right? They might say, you know what, I wish I could knit cat sweaters and sell them on Etsy and make enough money where I didn't have to be a move coordinator
And if you
anymore.
want to do that, you can. I'm looking at you.
Legit. I mean,
Whoever you are.
cat sweaters on Etsy is probably an enormous market. Did you share what your biggest failure was?
My biggest failure in life is no, I
Just
didn't.
say it.
Just not taking more risks.
Not taking more risks.
Or
So you're
just-
actively failing in that regard?
Yeah, actively. No, seriously.
So
Like the
Yeah.
the big example you just made. I love the position I'm in. I've created
you do love
a
it.
great
It's
position.
super safe.
I mean,
it's like-
it's not as safe as you think, right? You know.
I feel, did Frank tell you that one day? Like, it's not as safe as you think, Thomas.
Okay. Well, I've built the safety, I've built the house that I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, so
That's why it's safe.
hopefully it should be safe. Like, I didn't build it
Did
on.
you put a lock on the door?
I did.
I think you're pretty safe, bro.
I know, but I made it that way though.
He's like, I like it that way.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't take it from me.
No, what I'm saying is,
I built this house.
okay, but it's like, why wouldn't you want to be safe? Don't you work to be safe? I mean, don't you so if you quit tomorrow, you start the company of your dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do this to whatever. Why there's not a point where you just go like, I'm gonna stop because I feel safe. You did that. You jumped ship to start your own company to do
No,
what
I
you
think
wanted
as
to
soon
do.
as you feel safe, you do something different.
No.
As soon as you're feeling safe, like, oh, I'm just going to kick my feet up here and I'm just going to cash checks. I think that's when a person who leans into fear a little bit and wants to challenge themselves.
No, that's
like running 5Ks for the rest of your life.
You're extreme.
You're going to run 5Ks for the rest of your life?
No,
that's absurd.
Why would you do something?
Because then you're running 5K and you're like, this is silly. Now you're coming in first place, beating a bunch of moms and strollers. And then, like, what, you're going to do that your whole life? No, you're going to step it up to a 10K and then a half and then a marathon. And
you suck as a person.
And then you're going to run a triathlon or some craziness?
Not doing that. But what I'm saying is, like, so basically,
that's my point. Business is the same way,
the natural human instinct is to protect or to preserve.
Self-preservation.
Right? Self-preservation.
Whack.
You do it every day, though.
I try not to die. I don't actively go into oncoming traffic. But if you feel your self-preservation muscle acting up, like.
So you go. Okay, so there's mornings where you wake up, right, and you have your Ben moment. And a Ben moment, for you guys that don't know, would just be like this random big idea comes up, and he's like full force, like into it, and he'll call at like 8 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to like get yourself together, and he's like on 1,000 instead of 100, he's on 1,000, and so you have this moment in the morning where you think of this big thing. You don't walk into your office and just say, "Yo, guys, I'm done," because of self-preservation. Right? And you when you don't feel like it, you get on that phone and you do your sales calls and you do your dance and you do your account management stuff that you don't want to have to deal with because of self-preservation. And that's safety, my friend.
That's fair.
But what you're telling me though,
that's fair.
What you're telling me though is that
you can't go Jerry Maguire every day.
I'm a little too far into the self-preservation mode. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Yeah, you got the self-preservation blanket pulled up to your chin.
Yeah, like I have a safety blanket.
They fluffed your self-preservation pillows a few times and read you a self-preservation book or two and gave you some self-preservation almond milk before bed.
All right, shut up, stupid. And I think that us doing this is another level of fighting that moment of self-preservation, because this is not necessarily something that people are doing.
Yeah.
Well, no one in our industry is doing this.
It's not
and it
safe.
It's not safe at all. But I feel great though.
Well, so what's funny is people watching it are like, "What do you mean that's not safe?" Like, this is plenty safe. In fact, it's a really good idea.
It makes
I think
sense.
what you guys are doing is really smart.
But the thought,
try flipping on the camera and getting super real with people.
Yeah.
Dropping a couple cuss words, not talking about work stuff.
Yet. Because I got the blanket, the safety blanket. But I mean, this is like, I mean, it's because I don't know why I feel like it was unsafe. I mean, cause even when we did it, we didn't really hesitate. We weren't like, okay, this is unsafe. Yeah. But now that we've started it, and the
worst part of jumping out the plane is looking out the thing and be like, I don't want to jump out this plane.
Well, we jump pretty.
And then when somebody kicks your ass out the plane. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh shit, this is great. Oh
yeah,
my God, are you
and at
this?
this point, I think that rush is over, and then we pull the ripcord, and now we got that peaceful, serene moment when everything's quiet.
Have you jumped out of a plane?
I
is it more fun doing the free fall or doing?
I haven't jumped out of a plane. Have you jumped out of a plane?
Doing the do.
I've not.
I've
heard that.
I think the
best
fall.
moment. No, I heard that the best moment is when you pull the ripcord and it just goes dead silent because there's no noise up there. It's like completely just like they say it's the most epic moment of your life. The free fall, you're just you're smiling and screaming, whatever. They're taking pictures or whatever because the guy is like floating around watching. But then that moment when they pull the ripcord, the guy behind you, because you are attached to a man behind you or a woman or whatever. I'd probably like the latter. But.
Watch out if you're a skydiving instructor. This guy's coming for you.
I would rather. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So you pull the ripcord though, and then the instructor knows that this moment's happening, and they don't say anything apparently, and it's just you just have your moment of
they just let you pretend to be by yourself.
You feel like you're by. They say you feel like you're by yourself for a minute, and I think that right now we pulled our ripcord, and I feel amazing right now. I feel serene.
I feel like you're just floating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem though. Here's the problem. Now, let me make you feel unsafe for a second. Here's a rip in your parachute. Okay. everybody out there watching this right now
Yeah.
is like, what the hell are these guys talking
Oh,
about?
yeah.
Can you get to something that I can use?
Sorry.
This isn't really just about you guys hearing yourself talk about parachute analogies.
Sorry.
I hope that our vulnerability inspires other people to be open and honest about their failures.
Yeah.
And it empowers people to understand that failure is not the destination, but it's the journey.
And I think what I got from that, I mean, and I know we rambled a lot, but I think what I took away from that was, take some risks. With and you are and I am where I am because of the things that I had to do to get here, right? And anybody watching this video, you are sitting in whatever position you are because of the great things that you've done so far. So if that means your next step is to go for that next position or walk into your boss's office and say, I want to start this new section of, because there's so many great ideas in this industry that just sit there with the person because they're afraid to take that risk to walk in and say, I want to start this new branch of Reload Trans that ships diapers all over the country. I don't know where that came from. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I got, maybe no one else did, but I feel like our little random talk about our vulnerabilities there, I feel like I might have worked through some things.
Yeah, so your takeaway is take more risks.
Take more risks.
My takeaway is, at least from that one failure that I discussed, two takeaways. Mm-hmm. One is I need to really consciously work on the buy-in of my team. I need to consciously, intentionally work on it because I can be an impatient person sometimes.
Oh my God.
Right? And I can be like a kind of person that like I'm so intense that people just can't just give me I can't deal, right? Mm-hmm. And so I need to work on making people feel comfortable, included, and valued.
That'd be nice. Are you talking to me? I thought you
Keep me honest, okay?
All right.
And the second one is I talked about how I fail every day in every facet of my life.
Yep.
Somebody asked me the other day how I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing better every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to be better every single day. Trying to be a better husband, trying to be a better father, trying to be a better co-worker, trying to be just a better person, right? You
gotta find balance.
Yeah, and so I think that those are my two things. Is I'm going to try to be better every day than I was yesterday, and I'm willing to try to include people more in the process and take it easy and just like be more inclusive and more less intense or
less. I don't know.
Bring people into the process more.
Yeah, if you're gonna be intense, at least maybe hype some other people up so they can be intense with you.
Yeah.
Don't be intense at people. They don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Be inclusive with your intensity.
You should coach me on this. Yeah, so a couple things I want to promote real quick. Great Lakes Relocation Council Conference this week, Wednesday. I don't know if this video is going to drop by tomorrow.
Is it Wednesday? Or Thursday?
Thursday.
26th.
Yeah, but Wednesday night there's a party Wednesday night.
Okay.
Hit me up if you want to know about that. If this releases by then, if people actually watch it.
Yep.
Thursday's the main day. Friday's the wrap up. That's gonna be dope. And then another thing I want to promote is Honey for Moms. My friend Jason Miller, his wife Brooke Miller, they opened up a spot in Ferndale.
Okay.
Ferndale, Royal Oak. I think it's Ferndale.
It's
called Honey for Moms, and it's a fantastic co-working space for moms. And they have childcare.
That's awesome.
And it's really dope.
Why do you always have the dopest things?
It's really dope. And they're doing a charity thing, like a thing for their new space, which, by the way, University Moving Storage helped to move into. So check that out, Honey for Moms.
Are we plugging? Okay, so I'm plugging. I'm running my first ever. We talked about running and all that stuff. I'm running my first ever marathon on October 20th, downtown Detroit. The Detroit Free Press Marathon. It's actually pretty cool. It's international. Go over the bridge to Canada. Nice. Run there for about 4 miles.
Do you need your passport? How's that work?
So you have to have your passport at the time of registration, and so they kind of get you. They say that you should have it with you. But I have an enhanced driver's license, so that'll probably be with me, like in the little back pocket.
Okay, yeah.
So you go over the bridge. You go over the bridge, and then you come back through the tunnel. So 26.2 miles. I'm running it. I'm turning my miles into meals for Move for Hunger. I'm on Team Move for Hunger. This is the second time I've done it. But we're raising money to help Move for Hunger try to end food insecurity in the United States of America.
Yeah, and food insecurity is not, hey, what am I having for lunch today? 1 in 6 Michiganders, is probably more in certain parts of the country.
Seems crazy.
1 in 6 Michiganders don't know where their next meal is coming from.
And to be honest, I've said this before,
kids,
but there's
man.
certain. I mean, we're in a good little spot here, but there's one decision either one of us could have made could have had us in that same boat, and that goes for everybody out there, man. I know we all kind of think we're high and mighty and all that stuff, and we're so far removed from that. One decision could have any of us wondering how we're gonna feed our children tonight. So that's very close to home for me. I want to make sure that I'm turning my miles into meals. So please, 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 go to my page. I got a link there, and please donate to Move for Hunger, whether it's $1 or $26.2. That's 26
or $26.2 per mile. Don't do the math now. Just commit to it.
Just commit to it. To help me raise money and help me feed families in America, Michigan, wherever you are. Move for Hunger is everywhere. So
yeah,
that's my plug.
Awesome. Really glad you're doing that, man.
I'm retired right now.
Better you than me.
Yeah.
Hey.
He'll be there cheering me on, though.
Hey, so thanks for tuning into the Gross Up. We're going to check you guys out next week. Might have some intermittent videos in the middle there.
Yeah.
Like, comment, share down below. It means the world to us. Really appreciate you doing that.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
watching.
so much. Appreciate you guys.
Continue. Feedback.
Yes.
We need that.
Feedback's a gift. Give it to him. Take care, y'all.
Thanks.